the summer and mindful mental health during summer break, which is, of course, the longest break for school and even some people in the workforce every year. And it's going to be led by your current student directors, but also incoming student directors as well. So there's me, Jaden, hi, and then we have Frankie, Iris, and Alexa.
So just for an overview of what we're going to be covering today, first we're going to kind of introduce our directors as a whole and our program as a whole. Then we're going to delve into social media's impact on our mental health, which is especially prevalent during the summertime. We're going to discuss body image and beauty standards. We're going to talk about FOMO, or fear of missing out, as it is more commonly known. And then we're going to end with some resources and closing.
So now to meet our current student directors. The ones that are not currently here with us are Mary, Lahair, and Aubrey, but I can start by introducing myself. My name's Alexa. This is my 4th year as a Mind Out Loud student rep and my 3rd year as a director. I've been a part of the outreach committee this past year, and next year will be my 1st year at UCLA.
Hi, I'm Frankie. Next year is going to be my 4th year as a student rep and my 3rd year as a director. I am a part of the digital design committee, and next year I'm going to be a senior at Walnut High School.
I'm Jaden. This is my 2nd year as a student rep, and I just finished my 1st year, and sadly my last, as a student director as part of the Connections Committee, and I'll be a 1st-year freshman at Rollins College.
Now we have our incoming student directors. So the student directors that couldn't make it are Isabel, Shavika, and Wendy, and I'm Iris. I'm a 2nd-year student rep, and I'm a 1st-year director, and I was a part of the research committee, and next year I'll be a senior at Orange County School of the Arts.
So kind of delving into summer sadness, it's kind of something that isn't really talked about. So this kind of leads us to think, is it a myth or is it reality? And this is actually more common than you realize. I know summer is definitely associated with happiness because we're not in school anymore. And also there's a lot of sunshine, which kind of myth busts like the seasonal depression. But summer sadness is a very real thing, and this can often be due to a lack of structure and support. So as students, when we go to school every day, we kind of build up a routine and we're kind of used to the structure that school provides. And when school ends and summer starts, there's kind of a loss of structure, and that can be very difficult to adjust to. I know for me personally, kind of the first few weeks of summer break after school ends is very much me like regaining my bearings and kind of like adapting to all of this free time and this new schedule. And with that, there's also a lot of increased social media presence and time spent scrolling. Since we're indoors due to the heat, and since we're not really making plans or doing things every single day like we would at school, this leads us to spend more time on our phones and our electronics. And with that also comes social media, because it is a way for us to still stay connected, even though we aren't seeing our friends every day or we're not seeing our loved ones every day due to not going to school. We still use social media as a way to keep up with them. And so this increased social media presence and time spent scrolling can also contribute to feelings of loneliness and isolation during summer break.
And to add on to what Frankie said, a lot of us can feel disconnected during our summer break because this is the first time in a while since we have so much free time on our hands. So it's difficult to know what to do at that time. For me personally, as a rising senior, I constantly feel like I'm not doing enough, or that like I have too much free time on my hands. And at the same time, it's hard to sit down and get the work I need to get done when all I see on social media is like my friends going out and having fun without me. So that kind of ties into the fear of missing out and having a busy schedule. Some other reasons why we feel a sense of loneliness is because we lose the daily interactions we have with our friends at school. When we go from hours of school and social interactions with our friends to little to none, it kind of amplifies those emotions. So in addition to that, we have so much downtime, which can lead to doom scrolling and just feeling unmotivated to do anything because of all that free time. Feeling isolated or distant is completely reasonable and is universal to many people. Some potential cures or fixes could just be reaching out to someone. Be the first to initiate a conversation with a friend. And these quick moments of connection can greatly impact our mental health. Self-care is also really important, such as going on a walk or journaling. You can use this time to connect with yourself and learn more about yourself. I think it's crucial to spend some time alone this summer and understand that it's okay to be alone and that we should find peace in solitude. Giving yourself the energy that you give to others is just as important. As someone who used to be really sad and bored when I wasn't calling my friends or hanging out with them, I've learned to find peace within myself. I feel like doing activities for myself, like working out, make me feel happier and it boosts my mental health so much more. So I've learned to love having me time and it can truly heal you.
Yes, I kind of wanted to add on to what Iris was saying. I definitely relate being like a rising first year in college. There's a lot of pressure to be productive, even though it's technically supposed to be a break. And I feel like my natural reaction to trying to deal with the need to be productive is to kind of end up on social media and doom scrolling. But obviously, there's a lot of research to support that not all the effects of social media are positive for us. Especially the biggest thing I would say with social media is that these algorithms are built to be addictive. They're built to give you the information and content that they believe will keep you on their websites the longest, and that often means they're affirming your thoughts, whether that be positive or negative. So if you're seeing content that makes you feel worse about yourself, the more you engage with it, the more it will show up. This can lead us to kind of detach from reality. We become more isolated from the people around us because we're so consumed about what others are posting online. And we can also subscribe to unrealistic standards, such as body issues and the feeling of needing to be as productive or as accomplished or achieved as the people that we see online, although that's not always the reality, obviously. But social media can have positive impacts on our lives. They can be a great source of support and connection when we're able to see people who live the lives that we would like to live, even though they may not be like, we wouldn't otherwise be able to engage with those kind of opportunities or kind of information. And it allows us to kind of break through maybe the inherent barriers that we have or access to opportunities that we otherwise wouldn't get with social media. And this is where I would say that intentionality is most important when it comes to social media consumption, because if you're very intentional about your usage and what you're trying to consume, it can become a very positive support in your life. And kind of on that same note, I wanted to dive in a little deeper on the concept of doom scrolling. I feel like it's especially prevalent amongst youth in their vocabulary this year, and it really has to do with the repeated or excessive scrolling online that gets to a point where it becomes draining, anxiety-inducing, angering. It evokes these emotions where we feel like it's not something we want to do, and yet we can't stop doing it. So just speaking from kind of personal experience about why I feel maybe I've fallen into the cycle of doom scrolling, there's definitely a sense of FOMO. You want to know what your friends are doing. You want to feel like you're included in things that you aren't there for. It's also a sense of distraction when there's things that we don't necessarily want to address in our personal lives. We may look to the internet to kind of console those feelings. There's a dopamine hit that comes with being able to scroll and seeing so much content at such a fast rate. And it can come from a fatigue of when you're on your phone, it exhausts your brain that you lose motivation to be able to go out and do other things. And so you fall into the cycle of just being on your phone all the time because that's all you feel that you have the energy to do. But there are ways to try and mitigate these negative impacts. For one, I've found that breathing and body exercises are really helpful. So like counting down, like in 10 seconds, I'm going to get off my phone, or like really thinking about like what's something that I can see in my room, like what am I feeling with my hands, like really trying to get back into your body can kind of detach you from like being so consumed into what's on your phone. Another thing is setting time limits. And also, I would say self-care. Like a lot of times being on social media, doom scrolling is how we're coping with another issue. So if you really put emphasis into trying to figure out how to solve the issue that's causing you to doom scroll in the first place, and that can also be equally helpful. And then the last thing I do is I have a to-do list of tasks that take like less than 5 or 10 minutes that I need to get done, because I find a lot of times like doom scrolling, I have a like awful habit of like I have to stop at like 10:30 or like 11 o'clock. Like it has to be like an even set time. Or like if I'm like in line or something and I have like 10 minutes, I just like, I might as well open TikTok because that's all like I really have time for. So I find that if I have a to-do list with like 5 to 10 minute things, when I have those little breaks in time, I don't immediately like start into doom scrolling. I can do something to like avoid that.
So now we're going to talk more about body image and beauty standards, which is a year-round, I don't want to say problem, but topic that is brought up, but I feel like it's especially brought up in warmer climates and during the summer when people are wearing shorts or they're wearing t-shirts or they're wearing swimsuits and more skin is exposed or people are posting more of their bodies. And that's a real thing and there's nothing wrong with that. But what comes along with the use of social media or just seeing people in person is the so-called beauty standards and what's the right body image. And there are trends that I'll see on TikTok or on Instagram where it's like, I need to get ready for summer. I need to have that bikini body. You're saying that you're not allowed to go out to the beach or to the pool and wear a swimsuit unless you look like this, unless you look like X, Y, and Z, which is not the case. If you have a body, which we all do, and you have a swimsuit, you have a bikini body or you have a bathing suit body. There's no right or wrong way to wear or to look as long as you are healthy, and healthy looks different for everyone. And so it can be really hard to not compare yourself when you're at the beach, for example, and you see a lot of people who maybe have the body or the shape that you yearn for. That doesn't mean that you are any less worthy of being there or of wearing what you are wearing. Clothing comes in many sizes for a reason. We all deserve to wear what we want to wear and be who we want to be. And that's really important. And it can be hard. It can be so hard not to compare, especially with social media, which Alexa was talking about. But it's important that we give ourselves a pep talk, even if it may seem cheesy or stupid. It does work a lot of the time. You're going to be focused on enjoying yourself and not worrying about other people. And if you're going to the beach with people or the pool or whatever, you're going out with people and they're not making you feel good about yourself, you should not surround yourself with those people. The people you should surround yourself with are people who make you feel worthy of wearing what you want to wear and being who you want to be and not feeling the need to compare yourself. So keep mind of that this summer and who you're surrounding yourself with. That's really important. And then along with that, I feel like all these things are connected, but again, this is a year-round issue, but especially during the summer when a lot of people have off from school and or work, is FOMO, or fear of missing out. Again, social media plays a big role in this because you might not otherwise without social media know that you're quote unquote missing out on something. I wouldn't say it's missing out on something. I would just say you're doing something else. There is no right or wrong way to be doing something or where you should or shouldn't be. You are in the space that you are in and you are allowed to be there. If some of your friends are at a party and you may feel down, like, oh, you weren't invited or you didn't know about this party, you know what? That's okay. I believe personally that everything happens for a reason and that you are allowed to have that time for yourself or that time at home or wherever you might be. You are not actually missing out on something. You are still living life. You're just living life a different way in a different location, doing a different thing at that point in time, and that is okay. We're all living for the first time, and no one knows more or the secrets of life or is enjoying life more than the next person. We all are choosing to live our lives our own way, and that's what's so special and makes us all unique. So again, going back to what Alexa said, is if you feel that like tension or that yearning to be somewhere which you're not, putting your phone down and distracting yourself, doing an activity with yourself or with your family or with a friend who's around to help distract you from what you're not doing can really help. And it's important also, like what Iris was mentioning, to enjoy that me time, because the more you enjoy time with yourself, the more you'll appreciate time with your friends and vice versa. So it is definitely easier said than done. I think it's something that we're all still working on. I'm still working on it, but the more you're happy being on your own and being able to enjoy time with yourself, the more enjoyable times will be when you are hanging out with other people.
So, all of what we've kind of talked about today is kind of under the overarching theme of social media use. And we just want to come out and say that there are definitely ways to amplify and use social media for good. That is definitely something I see a lot. I definitely see a lot of good conversations and topics surrounding mental health on social media. And so we just wanted to come out and say that there is a positive side to everything, especially social media. And healthy social media use starts with moderation and just kind of knowing yourself. So some tips we have are to maybe set time limits. I know if you have an Apple phone, there is the screen time feature where you can set limits or restrict certain apps. Also, following positive accounts. If you find yourself comparing yourself to a certain influencer or somebody that you follow online, maybe take the time to unfollow them and start following more positive accounts that will make you not only feel better about yourself, but also will set up good examples. Take breaks. Obviously, like we mentioned, doom scrolling can be very repetitive and it's very easy to kind of get trapped in this cycle of scrolling and spending time on your phone. So taking breaks is really important. Even just putting your phone down or just taking a walk outside, little breaks always help when it comes to social media use. And also prioritizing real life connections. I know it can be fun to text or post or tag people on social media, but real life connections are super important as well. And it's definitely important to take that step and make sure that you're connecting with the people in your life. So we also wanted to include some resources that us at Mind Out Loud find very helpful. The first is 988, which is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you want to speak to anyone about your mental health, feel free to text or call 988, which is available 24/7, 365. As well, if you are a high school aged or teenaged person, there is free Headspace for teens, which is free guided meditation and also includes a variety of wellness tips. While these two are the resources that we've chosen to focus on today, there are so many more mental health resources that you can utilize and implement in your own life during the summer. So to access a full list of resources, feel free to visit our website at mindoutloud.org/resources for students.
Thank you for connecting with us today and taking time to listen in. Be sure to check out our website and our Instagram. That is a good Instagram account you'll want to follow. We only post good and positive content. And if you are between the ages of 13 and 18 and are interested in mental health and mental health advocacy, be sure to apply to become a Mind Out Loud student rep at our website, mindoutloud.org. We can't wait to hopefully work and hear from you.